We'd also like to let you know that all of our organizations are working together from the local to state, federal level. As far as county is working with the communities and the local hospitals and care facilities. And if anyone has any question about anything in the county, you're welcome to call me. I do have some business cards, and that has my email also here that I'll meet up with you after the meeting. At this time, I'd like to, and thank you, Ernie, I appreciate you being here. At this time, I'd like to call up our healthcare representatives from Lavaca Medical Center.
Rena Cognac. I work at Lavaca Medical Center. I'm the ED manager, trauma coordinator, and infection control nurse. This is Dr. Morgan Heck, one of our physicians in Lavaca Family Health Clinic. So we've been updating not only our Lavaca Medical Center website, but you can also find the same information. Megan's been very helpful in also putting it on the Lavaca County website. So we are certainly dedicated to protecting everybody that comes into the facility. So we had to make some very important decisions at the end of last week. We closed the Health and Wellness Center on Friday. And just so you know, they did test the pool just to make sure that if anybody had been in it, it's fine, it was clear. The Health and Wellness and the Health Rock Cafe, our cafeteria that many of you come and eat at, we're sorry to say is also closed till further notice. We have closed, so now we have controlled entrances. The main entrance with the awning, which is kind of like the original entrance to the hospital, is the main entrance into the facility. The one by the Health and Wellness is no longer an entry. Everybody that walks into the facility will be screened. They'll take their temperature, they'll ask them questions about any travel, how they're feeling, if they have shortness of breath, sore throat, cough, and where they're headed into the facility. If they have appointments, then everything is working as usual. The clinic is open full speed. The emergency department is open full speed. If they were to have any kind of symptoms at the front door, sore throat, cough, any of the guidance that the CDC has given us, we're going to direct them to drive to the back where they will be screened for the emergency department, if that's where they were planning on coming. We also have a number, well, it's really actually the main line, 798-3671, and then it's function one. We started this up on Friday. There's a nurse that will be answering that function. And if the person has concerns about COVID-19 illness, that nurse will screen them with the PUI guidance, person under investigation, and they will take it from there and make recommendations. If it's been said very well by Rachel and Colin, if somebody just has symptoms of a cold, we want that person, if they just feel kind of cruddy, we want that person to go back home. We don't want them entering the facility. But they will make recommendations as to whether that patient needs to come in and be seen. So also the emergency department, you cannot just, it's an automatic door. It does lock at 9. That was our usual procedure. That door as well is not open automatically. It's locked, but there's a button you can push and that person can be screened, why are you here to be seen? If a patient comes with family, friends, whatever, all those people will be screened with getting their temperature, asking the questions for guidance from the CDC, and then we will move forward from that. We do have specific rooms that we have designated if we do have a possible suspect patient, that we will put that patient in. We do have negative pressure rooms, which fortunately there was a huge sigh of relief last week when we found out this was a virus that was through droplet versus airborne. It's a lot more work when you have a patient with, for example, tuberculosis. A lot more equipment, a lot more goes into that. But we stepped up what we have our staff wearing as far as personal protective equipment. But we have a negative pressure room in the emergency department. We also have a negative pressure room on the floor. But we also have rooms that are designated just for somebody that, through the guidance from the CDC, the questions, this could be a possible person under investigation. And we would call the DSHS. They're the ones who give us the yay or nay as to whether that patient's going to get tested. We are not going to swab everybody, just exactly what Rachel said. We're doing everything, and things come up. You know, this is new for all of us. And so you think you have a pattern worked out, and then there's this, oh, but we didn't think of this. So it's been a lot of, not 24/7, but most of us are living at the hospital somewhat, trying to make sure that we have all of our steps, all of our ducks in a row. I don't know if you have any questions for me. I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Heck, and we can probably both answer them.
Hi, I'm Morgan Heck. I'm a doctor over at Wabaka Medical Center. We are up and operating. We are working in our clinic. I'm happy to see any of my patients. Obviously, if you're sick, we want to see you. We want to take care of this community. We've got wonderful administration helping us if you have sickness, if you are febrile, if you're coughing, if you are have any concerns or questions. I do recommend call us. It's the best thing. We want to hear from you. We want to hear. I want to be prepared. If you're coming in and we think you have COVID, I want to know. I want to prepare my staff with the proper equipment. We are open phone lines. We're discussing. Now, if you need a refill, for example, if you're in my clinic and you just need a refill of your chronic medicines, please call me. I'll fill it in during this time. You do not need to be rushing to my clinic. Now, I will see you. Happy to see you. We're screening everybody for fevers and coughing. We are following the CDC guidelines, so that is my number one site. That and DSHS, they are amazing. They provided good guidelines, and y'all have heard most of it, I can tell you that. We are working on phone calls for my patients. We're trying to keep people at home. That's the thing. Again, to reiterate, there is no treatment. There is no treatment at this time except supporting you and keeping you going. If you are very critically ill, I want to see you. We've got a wonderful ER staff, wonderful nurses, and we can screen from the car. And make sure that if you're really ill, we have the resources to take care of you. That's the thing. If you're ill, I want to have rooms, I want to have staff who can take care of you. If you have a small fever, if you're coughing, please go home, take some over-the-counter cold medicines. We can guide you on what to do over the phone. We do not want to expose as much as possible. I wanted to mention that as far as patient rights, we are not sharing information on who we're testing. We're not sharing who's positive. That is a HIPAA standard. If you talk to me about something medically, I will never share that. And though we are going to communicate with our county and our administrators on mitigating the risk, if you get sick, that is your right to share, and that is not ours. We also have nursing home patients. We have nursing homes under strict guidelines. We do not want to expose that population. They are ones we love, so we are going to keep the visitors down and keep only really health professionals in and out if possible. And we'll be looking at going from there, right? Any questions for us?
I have to say that it makes us feel good as caregivers. People are looking, they're educating themselves. We could tell it even in the health and wellness, the Health Rock Cafe on Friday. We usually have pretty good crowds. It was very minimal. I think most of you, if you do go to church, you saw a dramatic difference in people who were at church. Also, the spatial separation, as y'all are all sitting so nice and close together, you failed. 6 feet or greater is the best, and that was because of what Rachel said when you sneeze and cough, that sprays into the air. And y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, because we have daily calls at 4 p.m. with the DSHS. We've gotten a lot of information from them, and some of the information that is so good is the questions that come in. And for quite a few days, it was, how long can it stay in the air? How long will it stay on surfaces? And finally, one day, Dr. Hellerstadt, the commissioner of DSHS, said, stainless steel and plastic, I don't know why it's just those two, you can maybe elaborate, up to 2 to 3 days. So I don't know who doesn't wipe something down for 2-3 days, but I promise you in healthcare facilities, it's done a lot more. Point of contact type instruments that we use, like a glucometer, stethoscopes, wipe down between each patient. This is some of the infection controlled type information I'm giving you. If it's sprayed into the air up to 3 hours, so somebody's having a sneezing fit or having a coughing fit, you know, you want to say, hey, could you cover your cough, but also while you're walking away? So I just wanted to talk about the spatial separation. So nobody's moved, so I guess y'all feel okay. Thank y'all very much.